the man was not just a random stranger on the street, he was a cousin of Abu Bakr radiallahu an. And Abu Bakr did not just give a one-off
What are you and your family watching? Horizon TV, your premier Islamic TV station, bringing you the best in dawah, edutainment, inspiration, and more. Tune in now across Kenya as a free-to-air channel and on your preferred set-top box. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. Pearls of Wisdom.
Aisha radiallahu anha said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "The most beloved actions to Allah are those performed consistently, even if they are few."
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show. Sana na mtazamaji, bila shaka kwa mdundo huo ni ishara kwamba awamu ya pili ya kipindi cha Active Jumatatu kipo hewani, na nikiangalia katika akramu yangu ya saa, mshangaa mbona siangalia hapa, naangalia kwenye mtambo wangu, ni saa 3:15 na hivi leo sema kwamba punda amechoka, na kuna madai kwamba ikifika mwaka wa 2023 ikiwa tutakuwa tunaendelea kuona punda wengi wakiweza kuchinjwa, na wanadai kwamba 98% ya punda ambao wanachinjwa wanaelekea kule China, na mashirika mbalimbali yameweza kujitokeza ili kuweza kupigania haki ya wanyama, na namzungumzia punda ambaye anatumika hasa katika majumba ya watu wengi for transport, kama kwa kulima, mambo mengi tu. Na nipo na wakurugenzi kutoka Brook East Africa, na tutakuwa nazungumzia masala mengi sana. Na studioni I have Petra, the CEO of Brook Global. You good?
Good, thank you, yes.
How are you?
Very happy to be here. Thank you.
Welcome to Horizon TV. This is the biggest station in Eastern and Central Africa. Okay. Yeah. If anyone tells you of anything else, don't believe him or her. Kibeli, CEO agency for what? For persons development. And Fred Ochieng, CEO Brook East Africa.
Indeed.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you so much.
So, what is Brook East Africa all about? If I start with you, the CEO of East Africa, Bwana Ochieng, what is Brook East Africa?
Thank you very much, Bwana Obura. Thank you. Really nice to be here.
Welcome.
And to talk about donkeys, really. Brook East Africa is actually a charity affiliated to Brook UK, and Petra will be talking more about Brook UK. But Brook East Africa was established in 2012. But Brook, as a global organization, has been funding programs in this country since 2001. So we have a huge support that we have given to this country and indeed to the region. Our main interest is actually looking after donkeys, horses and mules. And I liked in your introduction, you mentioned that these animals are very important, especially donkeys for this country. They support livelihoods. They enable people to get water, as you are saying. They're very important for transport. They're also very important for tillage operations. And our task is to work with communities that depend on them, because we recognize that animals themselves cannot change themselves, but we must work with people who can make an impact on these animals. And so we work with the owners to be able to provide a good environment for them. We work with veterinarians and other animal health practitioners to ensure that they can also benefit from good quality animal health services. And we also work very closely with the government to ensure that the laws and policies that are put in place are appropriate.
Both the national government and the county
Both. Indeed, that is why we have also Sam here, because Sam is based at the county level, and he will talk about how they also work with the local government as we work with the national government to ensure that the policies are also appropriate in terms of taking care of these animals. Yes.
Madam Petra, what motivated you to start the Brook Global organization?
So I've been involved with Brook Global since 2009, so 10 years.
10 years.
But the organisation has existed much more than that. In fact, we were founded 85 years ago, so we have a long history. We were founded by a lady called Dorothy Brooke. We took her name, and she
she was the founder.
She was our founder, absolutely. She went to Egypt with her husband and discovered old army horses still working in the streets of Cairo long after the end of the First World War. And she rescued those horses with support from the British public and set up the Old War Horse Memorial Hospital, which was the beginning of the charity as it is today. So we work across 12 countries around the world, in Africa, in Asia.
Kenya being one of them.
Kenya is one of them, and Fred is the leader of our East Africa affiliate. But also we work in West Africa, in Senegal, Burkina Faso, in Ethiopia, very large population of working donkeys and mules and horses.
What motivated you guys to start the organization?
So the motivation is because we recognize how important these animals are to the lives of people. Often vulnerable people, often living in difficult situations, and the animals provide a source of income for them, but the level of knowledge and experience to look after the animals is quite limited. So as Fred says, we work hard to build the skills of people to take care of their animals. Sometimes it's basic things like giving a donkey water on a regular basis, giving it good quality feed, and making sure that if it does get any sores or wounds, that they're kept clean. And I think if you go back in time, people would treat the animals more like little machines, and they work them hard. There are many traditional beliefs of how to look after them, many of which are quite harmful for the animals. But with the work we're doing here in East Africa and across the world, people are beginning to appreciate more how important the animals. And for me personally, I'm a huge lover of all animals, but particularly horses and donkeys and mules. And I have my own horses at home, so to be able to help improve the welfare of horses that are less fortunate than my own, and to build a level of care and compassion amongst communities for these animals, which in turn give back to the people as well. It's a great motivator.
There's a research that was carried out, you will correct me, I think it was by your organization. Come 2023, we won't be having donkeys if the rate of slaughtering donkeys continues in Kenya.
The statistics are devastating, and when you think that so many people rely on the donkeys in Kenya, sometimes they can be providing an income for a family of up to 6, maybe 7 or 8 people. And if that donkey is no longer there, then it really has a significant impact on the livelihoods of people. So the statistics at the moment that are showing a rate of slaughter at an extortionate level, as you say, the research indicates that by 2023 there will be very few donkeys left in this country, and that's unimaginable.
Very unimaginable.
Let me add, actually, the research was not carried out by us. The research was carried out by Kenya Agricultural Livestock Organization. And, you know, that's a government institution. And within that, the Ministry of Livestock, in particularly the Director of Veterinary Services, also had a team within that research. And so it is actually a piece that was carried out by the government, and it revealed quite some interesting statistics. As Petra says, so if you look at the rate of slaughter, from that research it indicates that donkeys are being slaughtered at a rate of 5.1%.
5.1%.
Now imagine that the production rate is 1.04%. In other words, we are actually slaughtering donkeys at 5 times the rate that we are producing them. And this is why by 2023, unless something is done, and done now, we will not have donkeys. We will be showing pictures of donkeys.
Kimeli, are we doing anything to make sure that we are not losing our donkeys?
Sure, thank you very much, Mr. Abura. Back where I work for Agency for Personal Development. We work in Turkana and the cross-border region of Karamoja. Basically, we are a pastoralist organization from the name. Ours is just to look so much into the welfare of the donkey, because the donkey plays a very key role among the pastoralist communities. I mean, they will not work without, they will not survive without a donkey. They use donkeys to move from place to place. As you are aware, parts of Turkana do get very dry. So they use donkeys to move from Turkana, for example, to either Ethiopia, to South Sudan, or to Uganda. So without donkeys, they would not survive. Donkeys also play a very key role in building the relations of the community, because they used to fetch water for the small livestock left at the homestead. They also used to carry food rations from the distribution centers, for example, back to the homesteads. So without donkeys, they would not. Pastoralists would not survive. Not only in Turkana, but other areas, northern Kenya, and as well as other high potential areas. We're talking about other areas where donkeys are used for livelihood. They're used to make an income. Ferrying crops, ferrying water from place to place. We as APAD and of course with other partners funded by Brook, East Africa, we have several other partners within Kenya and the region. We are doing a lot of solicitation on the ground just to sensitize the communities. One on treatment, how to take care of the donkeys. Two, we're also doing something about policy, as Fred mentioned. We are lobbying for inclusion of the donkey in all the welfare policy at the county level. For example, in Turkana, we have the Turkana County livestock policy, which is in the draft form. And we really lobby to ensure that donkey welfare issues are included in that policy.
How are you doing that?
We lobby because we are part of the stakeholders in the whole process, the policy formulation process. So we ensure that at least donkey welfare issues are input in the policy. And even at the public participation stage, we have donkey welfare groups in the different sub-counties. So they're also going to, they're going to contribute their input as well into the policy when it goes to the public participation stage. Yes.
Do you work together with the county government to make sure that the donkeys are not being lost in different counties? Talk of Kajiado. I know you come from the part of northern part of Kenya.
Sure. Yes, we work very closely with the county government. As Fred mentioned, we work, of course, with policymakers. And when we talk of policymakers and policy implementers, we've been talking about the police. So there are cases of reported cases. There are cases of reported theft or reported loss of donkeys. So we do follow up We document some of those cases, and we try to follow up with the police and other stakeholders to ensure that when they're recovered, they're handed back to their owners. And in some cases, however, with the new emerging issue of donkey slaughter, we've had reported cases of a lot of theft, both within the county and even across the borders. Of course, if I may speak, on behalf of, in the Turkana, we have quite a number of donkeys, a case of donkeys stolen from Uganda.
Well, they're being stolen from Uganda and brought
to
Turkana,
to the slaughterhouse. They're being stolen in South Sudan.
There's a slaughterhouse in Turkana.
There's a slaughterhouse in Turkana. They're being stolen from South Sudan, brought into Turkana, from Ethiopia, brought into Turkana. The same case is happening in Kajiado.
So what is the county government doing to make sure that no donkeys are being brought to Turkana County from Uganda?
Well, we're trying to lobby. I would say we are lobbying, but the county government, of course, they have their mechanisms just to ensure that those legal regulations. For example, there are tracking mechanisms where, for example, if a trader bought donkeys from the border, they would have an objection letter, or maybe just a permit to allow them ferry the livestock to the donkeys, maybe to the slaughter or someplace. The cross-border aspect. Yeah.
In fact, Mr. Bura, what you're asking is also some of the questions we're also raising, because we are recognizing that the issue of stealing of donkeys in certain counties has gone up. Now, you will probably know that the research itself indicated that there were a number of...
Nakuru.
Yes, the Nakuru, Baringo areas. There were a lot of donkeys that were being stolen from their owners, and these donkeys would end up in the slaughterhouses. But through the partnerships that we have on the ground, owners have been sensitized, and increasingly they are taking better care of the animals. In fact, last year we even ran a campaign which was dubbed Linda Punda Ushinde Challenge. And the whole idea was, if you come up with good ways of protecting your animal, then we reward you for that. And so there are a lot of owners who are increasingly putting shelters for their animals. They are keeping the donkeys together with other animals as well. But I think the issue of theft is still there. As Sam says, if you look at donkeys being smuggled from Uganda side into Turkana for slaughter, and we have heard of similar stories from Ethiopia as well, from Tanzania, and I think it is important that the government looks at ways of stopping that.
Okay.
Yes.
And Madam Petra, after the short commercial break, I want you to brief us. Why are you basing on donkeys and horses only, and not other animals? Or what does it entail, Brook Global? Do you protect all animals or just selected few? But this and many more after the short commercial break. Na mtazamaji, bila shaka tutarudi baada ya mapumziko mafupi. Usiondoke, manake kipindi ni Active Jumatatu, na Active Jumatatu wajua kwamba mambo mengi sana huwa yanafanyika, na leo tuna wageni. Tunasema kwamba punda amechoka, lakini lazima tujue jinsi gani tutaweka mipango sawa kwa kwamba tunalinda punda, na mwaka 2023 punda watazidi kuwepo, na zama nikirudi kipindi kitakuwa kinaendelea.
There are over 3.4 million working donkeys in East Africa, working endlessly in some of the harshest of conditions. At times, these animals are overworked or suffer with years of medical neglect and end up dead. However, their labor plays an important role in the lives of the most vulnerable communities, depending almost entirely on them for livelihoods. In most instances, the income from a single equine can support a whole family. Youth in urban centers depend on donkeys to earn their daily income, where donkeys are a means to an end. In the arid and semi-arid areas, Women use donkeys to support their households with domestic chores like fetching water and firewood. In high productivity areas, men and women use donkeys to ferry their farm produce to their homes and to markets. Since 2012, Brook East Africa has been supporting donkey welfare improvement programs in Kenya, Tanzania, Somaliland, and South Sudan. Brook East Africa, through its partners, provides treatment for the working equines and works with local communities, women, and youth groups. We also offer help to working equines in need through our partners, vets who are always on the move, hopping from county to county, sometimes attending to animals in far-flung areas of East Africa. We are also involved in advocacy activities, lobbying government and security agencies to put in place policies that lead to improved animal welfare in the region. Brook East Africa continues to seek partners to strengthen its resource base and reach more people in East Africa. With your support and partnership, we will be able to continue our donkey welfare improvement programs, reaching more vulnerable working equines in more areas throughout East Africa. Beyond that, we endeavor to keep up the critical role of collecting information and data, working towards our target of directly reaching over 400,000 working equines in East Africa by 2021, thereby positively impacting more than 2.4 million people. To support Brook East Africa, visit our website, send us an email, or give us a call.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. Pearls of Wisdom.
Aisha radiallahu anha said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "The most beloved actions to Allah are those performed consistently, even if they are few."
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show. Welcome back, yani karibu tena, wanasema wazungu hivyo. Na leo namlami kwa kipindi. Na mtazamaji, kubwa kwamba ni kipindi cha Active Jumatatu na hodha wako ule Captain Muhammad Obura. Takriban lisali moja la kuweza kuchambua masala ya punda. Je, kifika mwaka 2023 tutakuwa tunashuhudia punda hawako tena katika taifa hili la Kenya, ikiwa tutakuwa tunashuhudia punda hawa wakiendelea kuchinjwa katika vichinjio mbalimbali katika taifa hili la Kenya. Na ili kuweza kuweka mambo haya wazi, nipo na jopo langu la nguvu sana. Madam Petra, before the short commercial break, I'm just wondering, are you only focusing on donkeys and horses only, or all animals?
So when Brook was established 85 years ago, it was set up to improve the welfare of the horses, donkeys and mules. And we stayed true to our mission and focused only on those animals. The issue, the crisis I think we're facing here in Kenya at the moment is particularly concerning donkeys. So it's very appropriate for Brooke to be involved in this crisis. The donkey is such an important animal for the livelihoods of people, and the slaughter we talked about earlier is just decimating the population of donkeys in this country, and they're being slaughtered because of the demand for a Chinese traditional medicine.
I was wondering, why are horses not being slaughtered, but the donkeys?
It's something special in the hide of the donkey.
So what is it?
It's a product called ijao, which is made from the hide of the donkey. It's a gelatine, and it's used in this traditional medicine to cure illnesses, to promote youthful and long life. And it's always been very much part of Chinese culture, but it's quite an expensive product. And as the population in China is becoming wealthier, there's a huge increase in demand for this product. And what's happened is in China, they have significantly reduced the supply of their own donkeys from 11 million to less than 4 million now. And so they're needing to source donkeys from outside of China. And because of the agreements that are in place between Kenya and China, there are now 4 slaughterhouses in Kenya. So there's 4 slaughterhouses here in Kenya that are slaughtering approximately 1,000 donkeys a day. 1,000 donkeys a day to supply the marketplace. And those donkeys, some of which are stolen, some of which are purchased from the communities. The price of donkeys is going up, but we're also seeing donkeys smuggled into Kenya from the surrounding countries because other countries have a ban on the slaughter.
Other countries already have a ban. Mr. Fred, as East Africa Brooke CEO, what are you doing to make sure that, okay, you're trying to reduce the rate of slaughtering donkeys in Kenya, but we are seeing emergency of new slaughtering houses in Baringo, Nakuru. What's not happening?
I think I wish we had a government officer with us here today. It would have really helped to be able to answer some of these questions, why we continue to have more slaughterhouses. As Petra has mentioned, we have 4 of them. So we have, as you rightly say, in Baringo, we have one in Naivasha, we have one in Machakos, and then the last one in Turkana. And you can imagine since 2016, almost mid of 2016 up to this point, up to end of 2018, we had slaughtered a total of 301,000 donkeys, 977. That's a lot of donkeys from the communities. And given that a donkey actually earns an owner approximately 11,300 shillings every month, you can imagine by losing over 301,000 donkeys, that's a huge income. But also the fact that in 2009, when the official census was conducted, we only had 1.83 million donkeys. In fact, by 2016, when the Ministry of Livestock did their own census, the population had only increased by a small margin to 1.96 million. And this is
not
why...
even 2 million. Not even
2 million. In fact, the whole of East Africa, for the countries that we work in, and we work in Kenya, we work in Tanzania, we have a cross-border program in Uganda, we work in Somalia, and we work in South Sudan. All those countries combined have a total population of about 3.3 million donkeys.
3.3 with 1.9 from Kenya.
With 1.9. So we have the majority. And our work actually reaches to over 500,000 of these donkeys. But you can see, if you are slaughtering over 1,000 donkeys every day, we will not have them.
Estimation of donkeys right now in Kenya.
So as we talk now, we are really looking forward to the census that was just recently conducted to know what is the actual number. But from our own investigations on the ground, the donkey population has drastically reduced. And this is why we've seen now owners are really clinging to the animals they have.
By what percentage?
I think it could be a huge percentage.
More than 50%?
Maybe not more than 50.
More than 20%?
If you look at it this way, 300 already slaughtered from 1.8 million, 300,000 gone. And by the way, those are donkeys that were slaughtered legally within the slaughterhouses. So legally. It means there are a number of donkeys that have also been slaughtered illegally. So that tells you that we probably may have lost a third of our donkeys by now. So we have very few donkeys that we need to protect, because if we don't protect them, we are making the communities much more impoverished. Do you know the statistics that we have? It shows that anyone, from the people that lost their donkeys, 77% of them became much poorer because they lost their donkeys. Remember, they are earning over 11,000 shillings every month. When you take that away for poor communities, what have you left there? You have left a huge burden. And even those that traditionally rely so much on the donkeys, like the children, like the women mainly, like the young people, especially in the town centers, are no longer able to do the work that they so much need to do in order to earn a livelihood. So you've made life much worse for those people on the ground. Yes.
Kimeli, what are you doing on the ground kule mashinani to create awareness to people on the importance of livestock and animals, more so donkeys, ambao tusipoangalia 2023 there will be no more?
Sure. Maybe just to add on to what Fred mentioned first is, just to give an example, there, around 2017, 2016, there were quite a number of illegal slaughter of donkeys, especially for their hides. I'll cite two examples. One of my colleagues actually lost 8 donkeys. 8? Yes. He found his donkeys slaughtered one morning, with all, I mean, the carcass left with the hides taken. One of the chiefs also from Reimas lost about 15 donkeys. So 15. Those are not documented. So when he talks of the 300,000,
so we have more than 300,000.
There are so many others which
slaughtered.
are not documented. Yes. Which you've lost between between that period. I mean, the last 2-3 year period. So they're quite a number. The number could be quite high. Back to what we're doing at the counties, is that we're really trying to sensitize the communities on taking care of the donkeys. 2 is we also sensitize the communities on maybe possibly fencing. I mean, providing fence for the donkeys. You're aware that in some communities, donkeys are left to just roam, especially in the north. So we're really trying to sensitize the community and tell them it's very important that they do what they do consider taking better care of the donkeys. There are also issues of branding that also now at least they're able to brand. And we're working very closely with other structures like the chiefs forums, and other administrative structures, because you see they're the ones who issue the permits. And also within the north, I mean, the chiefs still play a very key role. So we're also working with those structures just to ensure that we sensitize them, so that they also help out to sensitize the communities. We're working with other groups, women forums, self-help groups, and other structures at the community level. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you have good structures from the government on taking the donkeys to the slaughterhouses that have been created by the government? Do you have structures on how to take them there, or you just take them there? Are there any structures?
Well, maybe I would say it were better answered by a government person, but still, that's where the questions are. Those are where the loopholes could be. That could there be better regulation to ensure that those donkeys which are stolen don't end up in the slaughterhouses?
Ideally, for you to sell your donkey to the slaughterhouse, you first of all need to show that this is really your donkey. There must be a documentation. And in many cases, in any community, the person who may be able to verify that is a chief. So normally, they need to have a letter from the chief that shows that that is the animal, and they're actually willingly going to take it to the slaughterhouse. And those are some of the structures that, because if you look at the theft cases that have happened, that shows you that there are loopholes there. You know, that if someone can still be able to get someone's donkey or have it stolen, and they still end up in the slaughterhouses. And I think the main other issue is also whether the slaughterhouses would be willing to make sure that they know where the donkeys are coming from, and that those donkeys have not been stolen from people. And because we are looking at people who are doing business, that is very, very unlikely to happen. And these are areas that the government should come on board. But I think for me, more specifically, because we are looking at an animal that is threatened, we should not even now be talking about slaughtering them. We should be talking about preserving them. It's a national heritage. Can you imagine after 2023 you cannot see a donkey? What will you tell your children? You draw a picture for them and say, this is the animal that used to exist. So I think something needs to be done, and we are very much hoping the government will come in and put the right measures, get this trade banned, because we've worked with the government very closely. You asked earlier, Mr. Bura, is it just the donkeys that we think about? And the truth is, yes, our focus is the donkey, the horse, and the mule. But some of our programs go beyond those animals. For instance, when we work with the veterinary services to ensure that there is a quality service that is being provided by the personnel, to ensure that there are drugs, some of these actually used to reach out to other animals. And we have encouraged communities that it is not just the donkey that should be in the best condition, but all the other animals.
What action have you taken,
Right.
maybe on people who misuse the animals, the donkeys,
Yes.
the horses?
Now, this country has a
After
law.
a short commercial break, please.
Oh, after a short commercial break.
Then we can talk about the law. Inabidi mkatize juu kwa juu tuweze kwenda madukani, na tukirudi tutakuwa tunatamatisha kipindi hichi cha Active Jumatatu leo, tukiweza kuzungumzia masala ya kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba punda anasalia, na ikifika mwaka 2023 tushuhudie punda wakiwa wametamatika ama wameisha kabisa katika taifa hili la Kenya. Manake tukirudi awamu yetu ya tatu, kuna kongamano la siku 2 ambalo litakuwa linaendelea katika hoteli moja hapa katika jiji hili la Nairobi, like Regency Hotel. Nitakuwa nakwambia mengi baada ya mapumziko mafupi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Tech Tuesday with Yusuf Farah. Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursdays with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the Round Table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show. Na bila shaka mtazamaji, ni kipindi cha Active Jumatatu, lakini wengi wanaweza kwamba nahodha katika mitandao za kijamii mnapatikana Horizon TV Kenya Facebook, Horizon TV Kenya Twitter. Wakina Aisha Hano wanasema Twitter, Horizon TV Kenya Instagram. Haya ndo mambo yalivyo, nimelost lakini sawa. Awamu ya tatu ya kipindi cha Active Jumatatu. Punda amechoka, punda alichoka, lakini sasa hivi anammaliza. Mbona? Niko na jopo langu hapa kuweza kudadavua swala hili kiundani sana na kuweza kupata mwafaka ni nini inafaa kufanyika ili kuhakikisha kwamba punda wanasalia, punda hawaishi katika taifa hili la Kenya, our national heritage. Na bila shaka ni kipindi hichi ambacho kinaangazia mambo mbalimbali katika jamii. And Madam Petra, what are some of the achievements that Brook Global has made since coming in Kenya in 2001?
So we have a long history of working in Kenya, working with the communities, working with the veterinary services, and importantly working with the government. I think for Brook's 85-year history, we've always worked very collaboratively with the government and liked for the government to think of us as a trusted partner in improving the welfare of the animals and helping the livelihoods of people. And so when I was here a few months ago and I met some of the people in the communities in Kenya, and they told me about the struggles they were having lost their donkeys, you know, where someone had donkeys stolen, they then took a loan and they had further donkeys stolen, so plunging them into a very difficult personal situation. And I heard story after story. They asked me to use the Brook and our positive relationship with the government to raise awareness. So we've been working closely with the government, with the research that's been done, that the government were very involved with, to try and draw attention to the evidence that underpins the situation. So this is not just a UK charity telling the Kenyan government what to do. It's very much about us trying to enable the voices of people here in Kenya that are having devastating impacts with their losses from their donkeys, and helping the government understand that this is happening, and the rate of slaughter so far outweighs the rate of production that unless something is done now, we'll be moving into a very serious crisis in the coming years.
So what is supposed to be done then by the government to make sure that donkeys do not get extinct come 2023?
I think that the evidence shows us that the trade is unsustainable. We cannot continue to slaughter donkeys at the rate that it's currently happening. And I think that in order to restore donkey populations, we need to see the government bring about a ban of the trade. It certainly needs to be halted until further evidence is produced, because it cannot continue like this. And as we've already said, 1,000 donkeys a day are being slaughtered legally, perhaps many more illegally, and we won't see donkeys in Kenya in a few years' time unless action is taken today. And so I'm here particularly to enable the voice of the Kenyan people, the donkey owners around the country, to be heard by the government and help the government understand the seriousness of this situation.
Are there some of the challenges that you faced as you try to execute some of the things that your organization is doing to make sure that donkeys do not get distinct in this country?
I think that the team here in Brook, East Africa, have been doing a fantastic job of trying to overcome some of the challenges, and perhaps Fred would be best placed to talk about what's happening here in Kenya.
I think Fred will be talking about that, manake likatiza tena hapo awali. And Madam Petra, before I come back to Fred, you've been working closely with the government. Have you gotten any support from the Kenyan government with your organization to make sure that donkeys are still in Kenya come 2023?
I think we're dealing with a very complex issue here, and we have had support from the government because they participated in our research that's already been referenced in this discussion. And so we know that there are people in the government that are very open to listening and to working with us. But as I said, I think it's a complex situation, and what we need is more champions in Kenya to support the cause and to raise awareness. And we're working closely with other organisations as well, our partners here in Kenya, and collaboratively in other parts of the world, because this is a global issue. It's just we have a hub of slaughter going on in Kenya, which is affecting not just the Kenyan citizens, but also the populations in surrounding countries. So we're very hopeful that the government will listen and will continue to work with us in a positive way on this issue.
Kimeli, before I come to you, Bwana Fred, as CEO of Brook East Africa, what are you doing to make sure that you're dealing with the people who brutally mishandle the animals? And just tell us, what is your future plans as the CEO of East Africa?
Now, a great question, and I will probably also touch on some of the ones that you have asked previously. I think it is important to mention that because of our partnership with the government, there are very good laws that have been brought into being. And I think we have to appreciate the government for doing that, for having animal welfare laws that really are designed to protect not just donkeys and horses, but really every animal, and ensuring that people who mistreat these animals, people who are making their lives miserable, can be held to account. And there are laws around that, and the Directorate of Veterinary Services is very keen to make sure that everywhere in this country, animals are treated well, they are treated better, and their lives are taken care of. And I'm also aware that this problem we are dealing with is to a large extent also worrying the government, because they know that donkeys are a huge asset for the communities and for this country, as a matter of fact. And so it is really falling again within their mandate to make sure that we are not going to lose all these animals, that these animals will be protected. And so we are very hopeful that, you know, as later on we discuss about the conference, that the government will be able to be very keen on the whatever comes out of the conference and being able to implement the resolutions of the conference. At county level, remember, the whole idea of animal welfare is a devolved function. So the government sets the policies, the legislation, but the implementation happens at the local level.
But do you have government support?
Of course, we have worked with the government for a long time, so we have their support. I think the challenge we have now is just the differences in approach on this particular subject, which is the donkey hide trade. You can see they licensed the slaughterhouses, but we are saying this trade should be banned. So this is one of the areas we don't agree on. But there are a number of areas where we have agreed on. For instance, we have an animal health mentoring framework, which we are implementing together with the government. A lot of sensitization that we are doing, especially at the local level, are also being done in collaboration with the government. A lot of trainings that we are also doing to veterinary professionals. We have a lot of discussions, even right now, on different pieces of legislation where the government invites us to be part and parcel of those discussions. So we have that, but when it comes to donkey trade, we are divergent, because we are saying this needs to stop, because if you don't stop this now,
so
yes,
it's
so
hard.
And you see, because the government has licensed it, of course, you know, there is always a debate that they use the law to be able to do that. So ordinarily, the government may be saying we need to come up with a law so that they can use that. But you see, it's the government. The government must, the Constitution provides, they should protect its citizen. I mean, you cannot have a trade that impoverishes people. You must have something that takes care of your own population. So the government should be keen that if this trade is harming the people of this country and indeed the region, then something should be done about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Kimeli, as we finish, what are some of the challenges that you face on the ground, and also what you're doing to curb the challenges that you're facing? And a little bit you can talk about the conference, because we are out of time. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Bura. Maybe just to take us back a bit to what we're doing beyond the donkey. I remember you mentioned that, why on the donkey. We're also doing a lot of interventions targeting other livestock. For example, whenever there's drought, when we intervene, when we provide water, for example, through water tracking, or when we fix boreholes, then we do it for not only the humans, but as well as other livestock as well. So we are also targeting other livestock. Number two is on the issue of what we're doing on the ground. We're doing a lot of awareness. And just to mention that what Petra what Petra mentioned is that the community, there's an outcry out there. If we may echo what the communities are saying, they're saying, stop, let all this stop. For information, communities in where these slaughterhouses are based did submit some petitions to the county governments to halt the operations of these slaughterhouses. Some of their prayers are, stop this trade, ban the trade, or rather close the slaughterhouses, and let there be, a dialogue or something on the issues which are not clear. The other, of course, is the support from the government. We've gotten a lot of support down at the county level, as Fred mentions, that animal welfare devolved, but also we are saying what are some of the other opportunities. What can we, what can we really look into to ensure that donkeys are protected? What can we do to ensure that these donkeys don't become extinct at some point? Can we halt? Can we look back? Because when the lessons were issued by for these slaughterhouses, in some processes there were no proper dialogues or engagement with the communities. So we are saying, is it possible to have all the stakeholders on board? Is it possible to have the say of the communities? Of the communities, just to ensure that they're also part of the whole process.
Yeah. One thing, and then talk about the conference, because I only have 1 minute.
Yes,
yeah.
and that is what I was going to talk about. In fact, that was the main reason why we have organized the conference. The conference is really a platform for these owners to come.
Where will it be held?
And this is for the owners to come and talk about their issues. And this is starting tomorrow. So tomorrow and Wednesday, we are having this conference at Lyco Regency, which is just in town here. And we will give the owners opportunity to talk to the government, to talk to everyone, to be able to say, this is how we are impacted by this trade. And within that conference, we are also having people, even from the religious groups, we have people from Christians coming, we have Muslims also coming, because we're also looking at it, not just the statistics, but how can we reason from the various faiths as well? Because Kenya is also a country that is very religious. So we need people to also to understand what is the role of donkey in other cultural aspects. So we really want to get people like you to partner with us as we send out this message. But more importantly, for people to come and listen to the owners, because it is not something we are doing just as a charity. We're actually doing in response to a call from the communities. As Petra mentioned, she was also had an opportunity to talk with the owners, and the owners are crying, and we said, let's provide that platform. Let owners talk to all of us, and then be able to see how do we respond to
for
that.
3 seconds.
For 3
future plans of Brook EA.
Now, I think the best case scenario is that we will still have donkeys with us, and all the efforts are around how do we make sure that we are protecting these animals, but also how do we enable communities to care for them as they use them for their livelihood.
Okay.
So that's really important for us. And remember, I said we have over 3 million donkeys in the region, and we're only reaching 500,000. So we'd like to welcome people to partner with us so that we can reach the whole population of these animals within this region.
Okay, thank you so much. Brother Kimel, your parting shot as we finish.
My parting shot is let's provide a bigger platform for the communities. Let's have more champions to advocate for animal welfare, specifically the donkey welfare.
Madam Petra, parting shot.
I'm here because the donkey owners in Kenya asked Brook to raise the profile of the issues that they face, this crisis in Kenya. And I do sincerely hope the government listen to the people in Kenya, and we'll do our best to support them and the government in dealing with this crisis.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for creating time to come to our studio, and all the best in each and every activities that you are doing to make sure that donkeys do not get extinct come 2023. All the best, guys.
Thank you. To the conference. Come to the
I will
conference.
be there.
So
Welcome.
you can listen
to
the owners yourselves.
Inshallah, tomorrow I'll be there.
Thank
I'll
you.
come.
Meet the
Looking
owners.
forward.
Yeah.
They'll be able to tell you firsthand the experience from the community.
Very, very true.
Sure.
I'll be there.
Sure.
2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday, like
welcome.
Regency.
Inshallah. Na mtazamaji, bila shaka kimekuwa ni kipindi cha Active Jumatatu, nami nahodha wako Muhammad Obura. Ni kipindi ambacho ni active kweli kweli. Acha nipate nasema glasi ya maji.
Hata sisi.
Hata nyinyi. Ishara kwamba kipindi kimeisha, au sio? Oya, peleke nyumbani. Na mtazamaji, bila shaka ni kipindi hichi cha Active Jumatatu, nami nahodha wako Muhammad Obura, ambapo nakwambia kwamba kwa wote ambao wameweza kufanikisha kipindi hichi, namzungumzia mpiga picha wangu Binyamin pamoja na binti Nur hapa Sumaya, pamoja na mpeperushaji wa kipindi hichi anajulikana kama Gitonga Muhammad, bila kumsahau IT manager Hemed Salim, na mtangazaji msaidizi bila shaka Yusuf Farah. Tupatane kesho mwendo wa saa 2 ndani ya Tech Tuesday, naye Yusuf Farah, mimi nikiwa nyuma ya mchuma. Tutakuacha na kanda za punda uone jinsi ambavyo mambo yapo, na nikikuaga kwa sasa nikwambia kwamba siche kweli kuisema hata kwa mfalme ingawa inauma. Sema kweli, atizame ukweli, una heshima, wajibu wa mwanamume, urongo na lawama fukuzeni uhame, tuwalinde punda.
On a line of extinction, massive slaughter for hide trade.
2016 is when the first slaughterhouse was established. In our area of operation in the 6 counties, in a month we would have a case or 2 of donkeys stolen. Once the first slaughterhouse opened, the numbers of donkeys stolen jumped up from one or 2 cases in a month to a high of 120 donkeys in a month. On average here, with our calculations, a donkey will bring 1,200 shillings into a household every day. Lose that donkey, then you've lost your livelihood. Losing a donkey means you've no food for the evening. Your family doesn't, your children do not go to school. It means a lot.
In Kenya alone, there are 4 operational donkey slaughterhouses located in Baringo, Nakuru, Machakos and Turkana counties, with a combined capacity of slaughtering approximately 1,000 donkeys per day. Tanzania has 2 abattoirs in Dodoma and Shinyanga. Although Uganda, Somaliland and South Sudan have not licensed donkey slaughter, information on the ground indicates there is smuggling of donkeys through the borders to the rising market chain in Kenya.
Mimi tumelia kwa hii nyumba mwezi 2. Kwa maisha ya unalipa funda na si mimi ndio umekula. Na watoto yangu mmezoea mwaka 17. Hiyo funda ndio unalisha watoto yangu. Sasa unakaa hakuna chakula, hakuna maji. Na unalipa ingine. Sasa na hakuna pesa ya kulipa. Lakini hata hiyo mwizi kwa Mungu hii hawezi maliza maisha yake. Unakufa tu bila habari. Wacha tu mimi nalia kwa hii nyumba. Kulilia Mungu.
Wale watu wenye wako na haja ya punda wenyewe hawafanyi hiyo kazi ya uizi wa punda. Punda wanaibiwa na vijana wetu ambao hawana kazi. Wao wenyewe ndio wanachinja punda. Kama punda pengine ukiambiwa ngozi ya punda ni shilingi 7,000. Sasa wewe utahakikisha kuwa umepata punda ndio mchinje uuze ngozi shilingi 7,000.
The massive slaughter is, however, not fueled by the local demand for meat, but by the surging new global craze on donkey hides and skins to drive the manufacture of ijao. While we estimated in 2017 over 100,000 donkeys were slaughtered across the country, we have witnessed the slaughter tripling in just a year, the latest estimates of 360,000 recorded in 2018.
When I started about donkey, I got so many customers in China. And when they are coming here in Kenya to see the product, they used to ask me about donkey. skills.
We insisted to the investors that anyone who was going to have a facility license would have to do a breeding farm, and then we would have together also support us to develop a breeding program for donkeys. This one was done gladly by the support of the Chinese. The major market actually up to now happens to be China, and they did accept to support us to start up a breeding program. Only that it has not taken off because of the way it was conceptualized.
Why should we be breeding donkeys for China? Why can't they breed the donkeys? They have all the technologies. Their population has reduced by half in almost the last decade. If they cannot breed the donkeys, why would we claim that we can do better than them?
We got a lot of agitation from the community, considering that we are trying to take care of these donkeys. So we asked ourselves, what thing can we do? How can we help these communities to address the issue that is affecting them and affecting the donkeys that we are targeting? We thought as Farming Systems Kenya and through the support of the Brook to come up with an initiative that was to protect the donkeys from being stolen and from being illegally slaughtered. And that's how we launched the Linda Punda initiative.